everyone, this is FantasyEsque, and welcome back to the Sims 4 Vampire Amazon Royal Saga with the Salazar Coven. We are picking up on probably the final birthday we are going to be having in this generation before it ends. Our newest alchemist, who joined in the previous episode, the teenage Lady Xiomara Covenrose, is aging up into a young adult, and she is the first hybrid that we have had between a spellcaster and a vampire, like a proper hybrid. She can drink blood like the others, and she has to shy away from the sun because she will burn up. So I think we're very excited to see if she's going to be an immortal or not. I probably am not going to give her an immortality potion if she isn't an immortal, but if she is, then that's great as well. She'll probably be, in that case, privy to the same fire tribute and treatment. Perhaps. We'll have to see. I might have to develop special rules for an immortal alchemist, but typically the immortals have to go through the fire tribute, and anyone who's not an immortal doesn't have to. They can kind of live out their natural lives. Now the problem is that if she does have to take part in the fire tribute as an immortal, then her time with us is going to be very short, because it means that when Aphrodite gets put to the torch, so will Xiomara. So, I don't know, we'll have to see how things work out. I mean, this is definitely not enough time for her to have a baby of her own. But also, yeah, it's weird, because the thing is, let me say, if she was a mortal, she would have to wait until she was an adult to have children of her own. But if she's an immortal, then I think it's okay for her to be able to breed, like lost among the vampires, because then she would kind of count among the vampires in terms of breeding orders, I would say. Maybe. So then she wouldn't have to wait until she's an adult to have a baby. She could have one now. So, yeah, things have been happening. But anyways, we have her seated in the basement, the underground, close to her alchemy station, because I thought that was appropriate. Be nice to get it to age up over here. You know, a bit of change of scenery from all the other places we've had birthday cakes around the castle. So there we go. And I think it is not the daytime, might be evening at this point. But that's fine. That's fine. I didn't want them to be out in the sun or anything like that. Okay, before we dive into the cake cutting, I do have to chat a little bit about what happened in the movie. And look, her twin sister Serana was invited. When she came back from academy, she brought her sister over. But her sister has finished her tour of the castle and wishes to head back, which I think is fine. Now, interesting thing I noted when both of them came back from the academy, they're both the same age. They're twins, right? Xiomara was burning up in the sun, but Serana wasn't. So I'm wondering if Serana doesn't have the same level of hybridization that Xiomara does. Now, some of you in the comments were saying that you don't think the hybrids are immortal. But actually, as far as I'm aware, there's not a certain type of hybrid. As in, within a vampire spellcaster hybrid, there can be various levels of hybridization. Some hybrids might be immortal, some might not be. Some might have vampiric energy, others might not. Some might have the thirst, others might not. So as far as, some might, I'm not sure how the spellcaster, I think some might have vampiric powers, but they might not have the thirst. I'm not entirely sure. I think there's various levels of hybridization. And some would be hybrids, but not able to use, for example, their spells and such, which thankfully Xiomara can. Otherwise, she would be useless to us. So yeah, that is very intriguing. Very intriguing. But in the movie, let's discuss what happened before we dive into, the cake cutting and all of that. Basically, the queen was having a private meeting with her counselors, the priestess Lady Galaxia and the scholar Lady Yuki, and they were saying that now that the war is over, they have to deal with the straggling visitants, because remember how when the visitants lost, they kind of scattered across Brindleton Bay and they went into hiding to try and escape the battle. And then I feel like I didn't really talk too much about how we got Meredith back in the previous episode. I kind of skimmed over it. But essentially, these ladies, they stormed the visitant camp and they broke Meredith out of the dungeon and brought her back home. So that's what happened while they were there. But for some reason, that completely went over my head. Anyway, so we had that. The counselors were discussing with the queen, and they said that, well, we don't know where these visitants come from, but already they are a problematic race. We don't want them going back home and then bringing more trouble with them, right? We're better off keeping them here and dealing with them somehow. And so the queen, she kind of, found merit in that idea, and she said, okay, how do you propose we deal with them? And these ladies basically said maybe you should imprison them. I think Galaxia said you should imprison them. Killing them, like executing them, would be a waste. And then Yuki jumped in to add that, yeah, even with all the faults, like the faults they have, the prince and his men would make excellent breeding material for the Coven in the future. Definitely not their generation, but maybe in the generation after them. You know, they have some qualities that the vampiresses might wish to breed into their bloodline to make their bloodline even better. Right, like those horns. We all want those horns. So the queen liked that, and she kind of gave an order for all soldiers, for the army, to track down the remnant visitants and imprison them in the prison fort. So Jamie, he's the prison warlord, I think. The prison overlord. So he is in charge of keeping them under lock and key, and he had this discussion with Voldemort, right? Prince Voldemort, who was in his cell. Jamie was basically mocking him for ending up where he was. And Voldemort said, you shouldn't really laugh at ambition, given Jamie's bloodline. If Jamie was born in Voldemort's kingdom, then he would have been a prince. Maybe he would have been in Lord Voldemort's position. And Jamie said that I am no prince. Or I think he said, I know my place. He said something like that. Oh, he said, I'm not the same as you, prince. Right? I'm not like you. I know my place in the Empire. And then Voldemort said, well, I guess I'm not the only tragedy here today. And then he said, well, I'm glad, regardless, I'm glad I fought. So that wrapped up the visitants. They are locked in the prison fort, and now out of the queen's mind, kind of a gift to the future generation, the ladies who may wish to breed with them in the future. But for now, our attention is on Xiomara, who is going to turn into a young adult. We shall see whether or not she's immortal. The trait she's going to randomize, which I'll probably have to do off camera as usual, and then her slight makeover, which I'm excited about with the new color scheme and such, and makeup. So, okay, let's blow out the candles, honey. I'm gonna just pop the walls down, because it's a little bit difficult to deal with the walls in this tight space. Okay, here we go. I'm excited. Okay, she is now a young adult. She's quite lovely. I always thought her sister was the pretty one, but she's actually quite lovely. Okay, the moment of truth. Our lady is not an immortal. Okay, so I'm kind of glad, because that means she doesn't have to take part in the fire tribute. Yeah. She is not an immortal, guys. Thank goodness. So, I mean, thank goodness she's not going to die in the fire tribute, but also it does mean that she's not going to be having a baby, most likely in this generation, because we are very close to the end. She is going to be having a baby in the next generation once she ages up into an adult. So, there we go. Okay, now I should probably give her a makeover and not fix her, but give her a makeover, do her final trait, and then I am going to do up her makeup. And also, we did speak about her being a cat lover and maybe having a cat familiar. So actually, I think, given she's the first flippin' hybrid that we have, and I feel as though, personally, the ladies of the court, I mean, everyone has a pretty positive relationship with her. Nobody's friends just yet, but they have a positive relationship and impression of her. And I feel like the queen would be quite fond of this new spellcaster that is very much like them. And some of you wondered if maybe the queen and the vampires would feel threatened by Xiomara because she would be more powerful than them. Like, she can do spells, but she's also a vampire. And I don't think that would be the case entirely. Xiomara is enough vampire to have the vampiric lifestyle and blend in with the vampires, but she doesn't have access to any of those vampiric powers that the queen and the others have. So in a proper fight, she would be so much weaker than them. In terms of vampirism, she is the weakest vampire among the coven. But she can still participate in vampiric lifestyle, and then of course she can do everything a spellcaster can do and make potions and such. So she's valuable. She's more valuable as a spellcaster than she is as a vampire. But being half a vampire allows her to do everything a vampire would, in terms of like social life. So I think that would make her quite precious to these guys, and I feel like as a result, the queen would want to gift her on her birthday, which she's never really done for anyone else, like any of the other spellcasters. I think the queen would want to gift her a magical cat familiar. So we might see that as well when we come back. Here is the lovely Xiomara Covenrose after her makeover as a young adult. She has a dark red color scheme instead of the green that was on her before, and she now also has some makeup, which has brightened up her face quite a bit. She looks lovely, very, very lovely, and I mean, we did just get her and give her this appearance, so I am not in a rush to change it at all. So I wanted to enjoy that, but you know, just a different tone to her. Now, since we've already seen the outfit and stuff that she has on, I want to take a closer look at her face so we can admire the beautiful, precious makeup she has on. Look at her. Look at her. Doesn't she look nice? Doesn't she look nice? Very, very nice. I like the bright appearance on her because she is darker skinned. I think that makes her quite striking. Just look at her. Just look at her. She's got a very nice side profile, by the way. Just saying. Now, along with Xiomara having her makeover, I did say that the queen wanted to gift her a animal familiar, a little kitten, and we have little traces of that kitten all over the place. We've got, what is this called, like a scratching post? We've got two over there with the trees. We've got a bed, a little bowl that needs to be filled. I hope it can access that. But the kitten in question is right over here, bumbling about. Let's take a look. Oh, she's precious. Okay, so this magic cat is called Auraluna. So Auraluna Covenrose has been gifted to our Alchemist by the queen so that Auraluna can be her familiar. Which, look at this thing. Oh, she's so cute. It is a she. She's so adorable. She's so adorable. Look at her run around. Oh, you're precious. She's so cute. She is so cute. I don't think I've messed around with kittens in a long time. In a long while. But she is like a pink and purple magic cat. And she's just so cute. I just want to pick you up. Which I'm sure Xiomara is going to do in a second here. When I turn autonomy on. So there we go. Let everyone kind of go about their thing. Now, nobody in this house can eat cake, so, like, I don't know what we're going to do with that. I'm going to have to put it away. But let us fill the bowl. No, don't go up, don't go up. We need to fill the bowl. Fill the bowl of your little kitten. She has managed to befriend Auraluna. And, yep, okay. If you can access that to put food in it, I'm assuming the kitten can access that to eat from it. But we are going to give Auraluna a treat. We are going to give her a hug. And then we are going to bind her as our familiar. Oh, we might do that first. We're going to bind Auraluna as our familiar. So let her finish her bout of laughter. Come on. What are you cackling about? Let's go. I want to give this kitten some attention. Okay, here she goes. Yep, and our kitten is now bound as our familiar. Now, the only thing with familiars is if you have them, at least what I've noticed when I've been playing, if you have them actively as a familiar, then for some reason I don't know if this applies to dogs, but definitely to cats. Your cats will not eat or sleep or pee, which is unfortunate because their needs start going down very badly, and then they kind of want to run away. But I noticed, like, even if autonomy is on, they just won't do any of that. But then whenever I don't summon them, or I send them back, they manage to interact with all of the necessary things to keep life going on their own without my intervention. Now, this kitten is too young to climb the staircase just yet, and I figured we would keep her down here for now because this is where we have the alchemy station underground, and since she is Yamara's familiar, I feel like she should stay down here. This is probably like the best place for her to be and hang out. And then once she is a little cat, once she's a cat and she's old enough, which I don't know when that'll be, she can then start wandering around the rest of the castle. But I would rather her stay in this area so we know exactly where she is and what she's up to. But okay, let's take out tea cake. We are going to get rid of that table because we don't need it anymore. Clear up some space. Catherine, are you trapped, honey? She is trapped. Let me rescue you from the arm of that chair. There we go. She should be fine now. But we'll leave little Aura Luna be. Unless, Zimara, is there anything else we can do with little Aura Luna? We don't want to encourage misbehavior. Now she is, what are her traits? Do we know her traits? Yeah, okay. She is clever, mischievous, and playful. Can play with the laser pointer. We'll do that. And what else? Yeah, I don't want to... We're not going to be mean. We are not going to be mean to our animal familiar. That is ridiculous. But we will try and play with it just a little bit. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's adorable. That's so cute. So cute. Now the trait... Sorry, Ziamara's trait that she got aging up into a young adult that I randomized, and I forgot to talk about completely, is... Wait, hold on a second. Erratic. Is that a trait? I think it is. Remember the days when it was called insane? Yeah. So she has the erratic trait, which means her emotions quite often is all over the place. Now, originally she has the cat lover and bookworm traits, so we did say she loves learning about things, and she loves reading about all these spells and, you know, just being lost in a treasure trove of witchy knowledge. She adores that. Oh, hello. Like this. Meredith's backside. So she's quite happy being lost in those kind of things, but at the same time, she has somehow developed this kind of erratic personality. I think it might have something to do with the fact that she is a hybrid among vampires, and that's like, she's the first of a kind essentially, and the vampires are really accepting her. And you might be wondering, wait, but how does that tie to her being erratic? Well, I feel as though because the vampires are accepting her and things are going so great, like the more they include her, the more she wants to be included, and she wants to fit in and be, like, she wants to assimilate herself with their lifestyle, right? Which means over time she's going to start getting more cautious on, wait, this is what the vampires want me to do. This is what this is what makes me look like one of them. This is what makes me act, think, talk like one of them, behave like one of them. And I think that is gonna make her like on edge. That's gonna slowly that has developed maybe through her brief teen life here at the castle. That has developed into her being on edge and therefore erratic. Yeah. So her emotions are a little bit unpredictable because she kind of overanalyzes everything to do with the vampires. So, okay. Now that we have chatted about that, I think Sophia's daughter has aged up. Her children have aged up. The son, obviously, we won't keep too much of tabs on, but the daughter, she is a child now. I definitely want to invite her to the castle so that we can see what she looks like. I think that would be quite fun. And also I'm excited to see her split visitant spellcaster genes. So she's Othel's child. So let me go do her makeover because I haven't done that just yet, and then we can jump back in. Okay, we have invited over the young Valenka to the castle so that we can take a look at her. Azura, her first name, of course, of the Valenka bloodline. She is one of 2 children left behind by Sophia, and her father, like I said beforehand, is Othel Tilke, the visitant warlock, who we bred with before we released him to the rest of his people. Now, Azura has a twin brother, but we are not really keeping track of him because, again, male child. We only want to know what Azura is up to, of course. So, this is her. Let's take a look. Oh, she's got her father's pink eyes, of course. And then she has that mixed hair color because of her clashing genes. Now, she doesn't have any horns just yet. She's going to get them when she's a teenager. So for now, she's going to be without any horns of any sort. But she's got black hair with these patches of purple. Now, actually, she's got like a... It's odd to say light black, but she does have like a softer black hair, and then she's got those patches of pitch black and purple. But if we go to the back, you can see there's a lot more of that purple at the back than there is at the front. So this is just the way her parents' genes are manifesting in her. So rather than have one color or the other, because it's 2 separate species, she's actually having a mix of those colors. Like the visitant genes, or the genes that her warlock father is bringing, isn't exactly natural, so that's why it's manifesting in her in this way. But she's super cool. She has, as far as I'm aware, she's got Sophia's like really long, sharp ears. They're not quite the visitant ones. The visitant ones stick out just a little bit more, but she looks cool. Now, she is a lazy child. Interestingly enough, she is a lazy child. Looks as though Eden... Oh, great. Elaine is now picking fights with Eden. You know, Elaine has been so contained thus far, but she is... I feel like after the war, after the battle, she has just been out of control. Like, the evil side of her has been coming out quite a bit more, and she's all but destroyed her relationship with her own sister. Now she's going ahead and is ruining things with the heiress, so I don't know what's going on with her. Hopefully she's able to deal with it before she gets into any sort of serious trouble. But yeah, like I was saying, Azura she has got the lazy trait. So I'm wondering, I feel like maybe she's grown up in a little bit of luxury at the Glimmerbrook Embassy, and she has been kept away from, the horrors of war and such. And also, the time that she's growing up in, we already have like a young, new alchemist that's taken on the role, and this alchemist has a twin sister should anything happen to her. So Azura isn't really going to be in line for anything like this until a long, long time later, right? So I feel like she's been relatively carefree, even when her mother was around, and I feel like actually Sophia might have died. Sophia did die before she aged up into a child, but I feel like even with Sophia, she had things under control to such a good degree that it probably never extended to her daughter having to be vigorously trained to take over the role or anything like that. So who knows if Azura is going to be able to adapt to castle life should it be required of her. But for now, I feel like she doesn't really have too many ambitions. She's kind of happy just staying at the Glenbrook Embassy, being aware of this life but not really a part of it. She's happy for really Xiomara and Serana to take care of that aspect of vampiric life. And oh, she's scolding her. Oh, look at this. Xiomara is scolding Azura. I wonder about what. Maybe Azura, I don't know, if she was like digging out some candy and she's not being proper in front of the queen, and maybe Xiomara doesn't like that. I mean, after all, Azura in the future is probably going to be apprenticed to Xiomara. Xiomara, I feel like it'd be odd for her to take her own twin sister as an apprentice. They were both apprenticed to Lady Sophia, but if anything, then she would be training Azura in the future. So, yeah, that's already started, and she does not seem to be too impressed with the young one. Interesting. But she is of ancient bloodlines. That's kind of cool, because she gains experience faster and has a reduced chance of overloading. Okay, well, in the previous episode, we were trying to get, I think, Guinevere to battle with Saphira to maybe, like, to defeat her so that she can be prepared to challenge the queen if her sister fails. Because if her sister fails, then Guinevere becomes the heiress according to vampiric custom. So actually, I want to resume some of that. Now, no one in the previous episodes told me that we had already fought with Guinevere and won, like, before the whole war went down. So I don't think we ever got up to that. Saphira, hold on a second. Saphira, can we focus in for a second? Hold on. Let me get these guys upstairs in the training room. We'll get them to go there together, away from the crowd, because at this point, if they want to battle, they're going to go outside, and we don't want to risk them being in the sun. So let's take these ladies upstairs, and then we shall continue with the sparring. Now, last time we did this, it took her 3 tries, and she failed all 3 of them. Now, her sister, Eden, was cheering her on, but one of you lovelies pointed out that even though Eden might have been encouraging her genuinely, that would have probably made things worse for Guinevere, and Guinevere would have interpreted that as mockery. So I don't think she really wants any sort of encouragement, because as far as she's concerned, she is in competition with Eden, and she doesn't want Eden's understanding, and she doesn't want Eden to be supporting her in any way, because that's not her mindset when it comes to the heiress. So when the heiress does something nice, she takes it as an insult. But okay, let's see if you can maybe redeem yourself after the thrashing you received in the previous episode. Let's see if anything's changed. I mean, things aren't exactly looking too good for her in terms of becoming queen at this point. She does not seem entirely... Character-wise, she seems capable, but not in terms of ability. That is totally her sister Eden. Oh, she won! Okay, guys, well, she won. There we go. It only took her flipping 4 tries. Her sister got it in 1. But there we go. Guinevere is finally ready to challenge the queen if her sister fails, and take on the title of heiress if her sister fails. So, that's intriguing. That's intriguing. That means, whenever we are ready to... I mean, if I was... I could make this the final episode of the season and just make Eden challenge Aphrodite right now, but No, we're gonna hold on to this just a little bit because there is something I want to finish before we end the season. There is something I would really like to wrap up and do. Like, there's this story aspect that is still hanging, so I do want to deal with that before we move on. So these guys, we're just gonna have to focus on their relationship and see how things go. Now I'm happy for the Azura to hang out here with us for a little bit. I actually wonder if we can, I don't think we can give her any sort of training just yet. Like, she is too young. She's way too young to get any sort of training. We'd have to wait for her to be a teenager, but I don't mind them, like, her hanging around here and spending time. I think that'll be good for them. But let me see how everyone is doing and if they have any whims for each other for me to complete. And okay, looks as though Aura Luna is currently napping. Food is full. Let's get Xiomara to come down and clean the litter box. And then let me check in on everyone else. Okay, Galaxia wanted to share astronomy knowledge with Saphira, and I don't know if that's something I've already done or if it's lingering from beforehand, perhaps. That's not vampire knowledge. We want okay, so sometimes this comes up and sometimes the option isn't there, apparently. Okay, Catherine. Catherine wants to get to know Aphrodite. And who is... oh, Sofia Valenka. That's fine. Is this the one we just... yep. Okay. So Catherine, she wants to get to know Aphrodite. I feel like Catherine is definitely trying to kind of gain the Queen's forgiveness, almost be in a good relationship with the Queen because of like how poorly she performed during the war. And Lagatha wants to get to know Ciri. She very much wishes to reconnect with her mother. So that's kind of nice. We might invite Ciri to the castle. Guinevere, nothing of note, nothing of note. So let's actually help these lovelies. Let's get Catherine. Was it get to know? Yeah, let's help Catherine to get to know the Queen. Maybe she wants to know how the Queen feels about everything that has happened recently. Maybe she wants to know how the Queen feels. She's not entirely sure where the monarch stands, and she wants to ascertain that. So yeah, that works. That's fine. We'll go do that. And things, I think, are looking good. Excellent, excellent. You can spend some time with these ladies. And then we want to invite over Ciri. And, oh, look, Lagatha and Eden have been getting close, so that's kind of interesting. But let's invite Ciri over. Come on, let's invite Mother Dearest and see how she's doing. Ciri obviously didn't take part in the fighting. What? Ciri, how? Ciri, no, you cannot be sleeping, Ciri. It's okay, we'll summon her. That's what the summoning is good for. You get to summon people who normally weasel their way out of actually coming when you call them. Is she on her way? Hold on a second, let's give it a little bit of time. And try again. Come on, Ciri, where you're at. Your daughter wants to spend some time with you. Your eldest daughter wants to spend some time with you. The younger one, she's kind of lost in her own world, not gonna lie. What's Meredith doing? She's over here. I feel like Meredith is pretty okay not being connected to her uncle and her mother, whereas Lagatha is different. Lagatha tries to keep the family together as much as possible. They grew up with different family values to the Coven, which is more like being unified and sticking together and, you know, blood is thicker than water, all of that. But I think Meredith has more or less adapted to the Coven's way of living, whereas Lagatha, as the older twin, is the one who's trying to still keep things together. But let's see, you wanted to get to know Cyril. You want to get to know if your mother is okay after the tragedy of the war. Let's see, can you even get to know her? I don't think you have that option, honey. Well, if we can't do that, we will at least discuss interests. We'll do that at least. We'll chat with our mother. Come on, let's go over. Let's say hello to her. Are we gonna give her a hug? Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's nice. I think Ciri really appreciates that at least Lagatha tries to stay connected with her because, you know, the twins, they were everything to Ciri when they were at the creature cradle. And it was hard for Ciri when she had to send her daughters off here to live away from her, you know, for the rest of their flippin' lives. So I think she appreciates that Lagatha tries to keep in touch. Okay, everyone more or less is looking pretty good. Even Guinevere is happy. Even Guinevere is happy with all the drama that's been taking place. Okay, let me check on our kitten really quick. Our kitten appears to be fine. Look at her, she's so cute. She's so adorable. And I don't even mind her being in the basement because, I mean, look at how tiny she is. This is so much space for her. This is so much space. Oh, you're adorable. Look at her, the way she's like running and fumbling and I love it. Are you gonna go eat? Oh, just look at her hopping like to her food. She's so precious. So precious, this little thing. Oh, goodness. Well, you go. Oh, this is also interesting. That Guinevere and Eden are apparently, where is it? Like best buds. Does this make sense to you? Yeah, okay. She likes dancing. Meredith likes dancing. But does this make sense to you? I mean, she's really close with Saphira, which I understand because we established during the Autumn Caravan episode that Saphira actually wants Guinevere to, like, be queen. She's on Guinevere's side. But Eden, I mean, to be honest, I guess I can understand. Maybe this is why Eden doesn't like it when someone else says, like when Sophia said that you have to be careful of your sister doesn't have good intentions. Eden wasn't happy hearing that because she doesn't think of her sister that way. And it's probably because, despite the arguments they have, which to Eden probably seems petty, Guinevere tries her best to maintain this fake relationship with her sister. So Guinevere can, like, she can think of her sister as the enemy, but Eden can't do the same with Guinevere because, as far as Eden's concerned, Guinevere is her best friend, is her best friend in the whole wide world, and her blood. Like, why would she ever wish her harm, right? Anyways, guys, with that said and done, I'm gonna leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.